Thank you. There's someone that made a statement earlier that I would actually want to address. Somebody is saying, from today, I want to see you exposing white pastors. Black stories are starting to board because of it, not sex. They are hiding snakes in their bedroom. Well, tomorrow I'm going to talk about another lawsuit. A church is suing me for $2 million because they say they claim I say that they are a white church, a big church in South Africa, extremely big. The pastor is white. At Bossoff is called CRC. During the COVID-19, when South Africa was only supposed to have 50 people in church, they had over 1,000. I asked them questions. They invited me. I went there. They couldn't answer my question. I made a broadcast. But they didn't talk about the fact that they broke COVID-19 rules. All they did was to hammer and pick on some of the stuff that I said, and now took me to court to sue me. The issue was not, I said they are a white church. Certain things that I just, they left the main issue, which is you were supposed to have 50 people. Why did you have over 1,000 people? They couldn't give me an answer. I went to their church, wrote them an email, they invited me, I went there. They never answered me. All they wanted me to do is, Solomon, you don't understand. It's a white church, from a leadership perspective. I mean, the pastor is white. So somebody is saying, I want you to talk about white pastors. So it's a white pastor that leads that church. And I'm going to talk about that tomorrow. Those are part of the spiritual warfare that I want to talk to you about, that I'm going through. That if you also embrace the truth and you want to stand on the truth, you're going to encounter a lot of obstacles and challenges. And one of the main ways that they are using to fight against the truth that God is using and showcasing through me is going to the courts. And that's one of the things we're going to talk about today. Joshua Maponga, Bishop Joshua Maponga, taking me to court and asking for $5 million. Tomorrow I'm going to talk about Christian Revival Church, CRC, taking me to court and asking for $2 million. Taking me to court and not even talking about the main reason why we even had the conversation in the first place. And tonight I'm going to prove to you that some of the things that I say and share here, a lot of people think I just pick things and just say here without having proof or whatever. No, I don't do that. I do my best to make sure that there are evidences, there are proof. If people come to me, every day people come to me with complaints and issues. But I have to investigate and see if actually it's true or not. And that's what we're going to look at here in the case of Joshua Maponga. He ran away, sued me, and then all of a sudden the girl came out. A young lady came out and said, no, I'm your girlfriend. You actually got me pregnant. And now what? And he sued me for $5 million. He's saying I lied against him. So now the girl is out on the cover of a national newspaper. Yeah, somebody say pride. Anyway, please make sure you subscribe, guys, right away. So what are we going to be looking at in the next few minutes? We're going to be looking at Bishop Maponga. Bishop Maponga sued me for 5 million rand. Now, 5 million rand, if you're looking at maybe US dollars, you're probably going to be talking about what, 400,000 US dollars or something, let me see, actually, let me calculate it to be precise. 5 billion rand in dollars. Let's see. Yeah, about 350,000 US dollars. So that's what he's suing me. Now, let me give you a little bit of background, my history with Bishop Maponga. I've known Bishop Maponga for over, I think, about 17 years now. First time I met him was on TV, and we were invited guests over and over again, and that was where I got to meet him. Do I have a close relationship with him? No, I don't have a close relationship with him, but I've known him over 17 years, and he knows my wife. He knows me. We meet with other people. I'd never had a one-on-one with him where we went out for coffee or we went out for lunch just to talk about things. No, I'd never done that before with him. So I wouldn't say I know him really well. A lot of people feel I know him. But he is a bishop that was ordained at the Seventh-day Adventist Church. A very great mind. He has a very great mind, very analytical mind, very intelligent, intellectually very strong. And I respect him for that. He's somebody that is a good thinker, but he had a problem with the Seventh-day Adventist, and somehow he got kicked out. But still, he gets invited to other Seventh-day Adventist churches to speak and other churches to speak. So he's been speaking a lot around churches and on TV and all that. So he's become some sort of a popular guy. Talks about culture, the African culture. Talk about Pan-Africanism and all that. I'm saying all this for the sake of the guys who are like in Jamaica, Bahamas, and the US, Canada, just so you know who I'm talking about. I have actually posted a link to the story that his girlfriend came out and gave. I posted it there. The link is there. So in case you want to check it out. So, and we've been guests on so many different TV radio stations and together, and we agree. At one point, people were telling me, look, Bishop Maponga has backslided and he has gone over to embracing other African traditional beliefs which are not biblical. And I had defended him, because for me, I work with evidence. I want to see evidence first, until I picked it up. And some people were not even happy with me because I was some sort of like defending him. I was like, no, just give him some time. Just give him some time. And he knows that, right? So that's been my history with him. We meet in events and weddings and all that. And we've been cordial. I'd never had any issue with him. Actually, somebody was reminding me earlier on, about 10 years ago, I used to run a magazine, Christian magazine called Parable Magazine, which was distributed around South Africa, Botswana, Namibia, and Swaziland, Eswatini. Then around Pick and Pay and some P&A and some Spa. And he was actually one of my column writers. He had a column. He wrote for the magazine a couple of times. That's just to tell you where we come from, right? But let me fast forward. Some of you guys have seen me with him on Abafun DC. Some of you guys have seen me with him on I'm a Bishop and all that. So I've been suspecting that he has embraced certain things that are not really biblical, that are part of African traditional belief. And for me, whatever you want to do with your life is fine, but you just have to be honest with it. I'm not gonna just go and talk to somebody who follows African traditional belief and tell him like polygamy is wrong. No, I'm not gonna tell him that polygamy is wrong, because for him it's not wrong. I can tell him what the Bible says about polygamy based on my understanding, but I'm not gonna tell him it's wrong. Why should I tell him it's wrong when he has the right to make a choice and he made a choice to believe in African traditional beliefs, and for him nothing is wrong with it? It wouldn't make sense at all. I'm giving you this background just so you know that I've been facing a lot of legal battles. And that's what a lot of people who I talk about here, who do not have any other way to silence me, that's the route that they take. Because they know first, Solomon is going to need a lot of money to fight this. Secondly, they know they have a chance because they want to silence me. Thirdly, because they want to put fear in me, just so fear would be on, and I would not talk about them. Fourthly, they want to put fear in other people that would want to talk about them. They will be intimidated and say, look, if I talk about this person, if I talk about this church, straight, they will take me to court. I do not have the money. I do not have the time to waste. So, fast forward, just the week of Easter, there was a lot of conversation around Bishop Maponga. Now you have to understand Bishop Maponga. For me, he has turned into somebody who became a spiritualist instead of like a bishop, because he embraced a lot of African traditional beliefs that are not biblical again. Believing in a whole lot of stuff, you know. So for me, it was sort of like becoming like a sangoma. If you know that people that are from other places, which is more like, you know, a native doctor or a traditional healer, but not just a traditional healer that uses local herbs, but also there's a spiritual side of it which is not biblical. I mean, he has invited me on his TV show. I've been there once or twice and spoken about it, and spoke about what I do and all that kind of stuff. So we were good. So until during the week of Easter, he now came out and said, look, Jesus. How can you say Jesus died and rose on the third day? If you calculate, that's not true. You know, and something like, well, Christians are being deceived. You know, how can you claim that? How can you even hold that he died and rose on the third day and all that? So I didn't really pay attention to it, but I saw a lot of people were paying attention to it and they were tagging me. So I put a post. I said, you know, guys, you do not have to be angry with Maponga, with Bishop Maponga, because people were getting angry with him. I said, look, why are you angry with him? First, for me, this guy, I don't even consider him a Christian. So why should you be angry with somebody who doesn't subscribe fully to the Bible, saying certain things against your belief? Why should you be angry with him? Come on, this is common sense. Secondly, for me, I feel he's a spiritualist. That's who he is. So I do not take him serious. I see him as a joke. He's become a joke. He has a great mind, or again, I would say that he has a great mind. He's a good thinker. He's a smart person. A lot of people love him. You know, he's a lovable guy, you know, and he says certain things that are very intelligent. And he is very smart and very intelligent. So when I put on that post, the fact that for me, he's not a Christian, he's just a spiritualist. For me, he's somebody that has become a joke. I respect him for his intelligent views and all that. But when it comes to the Christian faith, you know, I don't take him serious. And remember, this is someone that would tell you, even in that post, he commented, he said, look, he's a bishop and a theologian. And he's widely read, you know, and he's definitely a theologian. But on what basis? On what basis are you a theologian? That's the question. On what basis? You know, he occupies the office of a bishop. He occupies the office of a bishop, right? That's fair enough. I'm just trying to actually get something here that I forgot to put on. Right? Just give me a minute. Now, yeah, I got it now. Okay, so now we were having this conversation. I posted it on Facebook and he came in and commented, and going back to the same issue of the death and the resurrection of Christ in three days doesn't really make sense. So now, because we're having a conversation and there were other people there on Facebook and everyone was commenting, I now said, Bishop Maponga, I don't think you are the right person to talk about this, to talk about Christian issues. Because morally, your sexual morals is not right. You allegedly have a girlfriend, so you do not have the right to talk about this. You have disqualified yourself. Now, a lot of people were shocked. And for me, I just threw the truth at him. I didn't just create that to try to accuse him. No, I cannot accuse him. It was because of the report that I've gotten already. Now I told him, no. You see, guys, for us to be able, if I'm a Christian leader, I cannot just have the authority through the knowledge that I have, or the authority through the office that I occupy. The most important authority is the moral authority. And for me, he lacks moral authority. You are married, but there is a girlfriend. You are married, there is a girlfriend. And he said, no, there is no girl. But that was what I told him, and that's what he... So I'm trying to tell you again why he took me to court. Why he said I must pay him 5 million rand because I falsely accused him of having an adultery. What does the Bible say about the office of the bishop? He said, now the overseer, which is the bishop, is to be above reproach, faithful to his wife. And what I was trying to say was, Maponga wasn't faithful to his wife. That was what I was trying to say in that post. Temperate, self-controlled. There was no self-control there. That was what I was trying to say in that post. Some people came and like, no, Solomon, he's just human. That's the excuses. We know how to protect leaders, especially Christian leaders, where we say they're only human. Solomon, is going to happen to you tomorrow. No, it's not going to happen to me tomorrow. I'm not going to cheat on my wife tomorrow. I'm not going to have a girlfriend tomorrow. If that's what's going to happen to you, let it happen to you. I've seen people who are Christian leaders and went through this whole life and being faithful to one woman. And that's what I'm called to do, to be. If you have your own choice, you make your own choice. But I'm committed. I've committed my life to that. You say, no, he's only human. Everybody falls. Everybody is imperfect. No one is looking for perfection. All we're trying to say is, if you make a mistake, if you sin, you must take responsibility for it. So it went on and off and on and off, and he was commenting, and at one point he was calling me, trying to speak to me. I said, no, if I speak to him, he's only going to try to defend himself. I know when somebody is ready to repent before God. And I felt he wasn't really ready to repent. You know, he told other people, they called me. I was like, look, you think I just sat down and created this thing? No. There's a young woman who is in pain now because of promises that was made to her, which was never kept. And I'm going to show you just now. All that happened about 10 days ago. He said, I better speak to him if I know what is good for me. So that was a threat. That was a threat. I said, okay, he can go ahead and do whatever he wants to do, right? So the next thing, I got a call from a journalist saying there's an interdict against me, which I never saw anything legal from his own team. They went to court, got an interdict to stop me from talking about him, from saying anything defamatory against him. That's why what I want to do now is just tell the story of this young lady. So, he went to court, got an order. He said I defamed him and everything. And and somehow the newspaper picked it up. How did the newspaper know about it? I have no idea. And this was what the newspaper is called, the Sunday World. This was a caption. Man of cloth sues blogger for 5 million rand. Maponga says womanizer claim cost him millions. That I cost him millions. Because I said he is a womanizer, I cost him millions. Let me read the details of the stuff that he had actually said. Let me just try to read a part of the article that he said. So he said, Maponga, a married man with kids, is also agonizing that his marriage might collapse as a result of Solomon's allegations, which he said were defamatory and devoid of truth. So first and foremost, he said, what I said about him allegedly having a girlfriend is defamatory. He's defamed him because he doesn't have a girlfriend and he's untrue. That's his words, right? And then he went on to say the heartbreaking tidbits are contained in Maponga's urgent court application for an order to interdict the Sham from further defaming him on social media and to pay him a total of 5 million rand for financial loss and reputational damage that he has suffered. That's what he has suffered. In the court papers seen by Sunday World, Maponga said that on the 7th of, and I'm just going to jump that, as a result of the respondent's reckless behavior, business associates who used to value the applicant have lost confidence in the applicant, and this has led to serious damage as he has lost sponsors and business associates. What business associate is he talking about? What sponsors is he talking about? Not only did the respondent's recklessness affect the applicant, companies, churches, and programs. You see, he's still trying to put churches there. He is affiliated to, he has suffered a knock as people now associate all these institutions with the allegations directed against him. He also said that the post did not only portray him as a hypocrite and a man loose of rules moral, but also defamatory because Asham did not provide evidence to support his allegations. Now there is evidence because the girl, who is his girlfriend, came out and said, no, we're going to go through it now. So what evidence do you need? She didn't just come out alone, even her mother came out because of what they said he did to them. He said that let me say you. Now this is another part that, okay, this is the last part. He said as a result of, Maponga said he wanted the court to grant him an order to force Ashams to pay him 2 million for reputational damage and 3 million for financial loss he suffered. So how much does Maponga makes? And you think you're gonna get millions off me? Me? Where am I gonna pick millions from you for you? They said because of withdrawals of some of his sponsors or business. So your sponsors withdrew and you lost 3 million. Come on. Come on. Now, this is the last part that he said, which actually shows a lot about his heart. And he calls himself a bishop. Maponga said he would pursue Solomon until he auctioned off his wife and children at the market. I will go with him to the grave. So he will pursue me to pay him that 5 million, even if it means I go and sell my wife and children at the market. This is a bishop saying this. So he wants to destroy my family. And just by the way, his wife called me when I first put this on Facebook. She called me when I was talking to him on Facebook saying, no, but there are allegations that you have a girlfriend. His wife called me and I told her, look, I have evidences. She wanted to know who and what. I said, but I cannot release it to you now. His wife called me. I don't know his wife. I don't know how she got my number. And he was busy on social media telling people that I'm invading his house, that I'm calling his wife. But she was the one who called me. And as a when people call me, I try to call them back. Or when they send me a message, I try to send them back as much, to reply them as much as possible. So he wants me to sell my wife and children to pay him that money. A money that he would never see. Never, ever, Maponga, see that money. You see, I was ready to just let this thing slide and go because I've dealt with it already. But even behind the scene right now, he's doing quite a lot of stuff that are not appropriate. Now let me fast track. Last Sunday, I told you he went to court and got an interdict, and then everything came out. But then, to the shock of many, 2 days ago on Monday, this was the cover of a national newspaper in South Africa, the Daily Sun. I was impregnated by Maponga, but miscarried. Bishop Maponga versus Nyati. That is Bishop Maponga versus his side chick, versus his mistress. That is him there with his mistress, which is his girlfriend. And on the cover there also that you see in pinkish and all that is the conversation between the two of them. So these are evidences of conversation between the two of them. And I was shocked to hear certain things and to see certain things that is just so shocking that for me, it was like, wow, I didn't know this thing happened. For some of you guys who do not know Maponga, this is Bishop Maponga. Bishop Maponga is about, I think, 52, 53. And his young girlfriend is 29. 29 years of age. So what did she say? I'm going to read that out to you. But these are some of the things that she said. She alleged to have been impregnated by Maponga but miscarried. Daily Sun is in possession of medical records which show she had a miscarriage in February when she was 9 weeks pregnant. So fact is, the girl was pregnant and she said Maponga got her pregnant. And the newspaper, the media has seen the evidence that she was actually pregnant and she miscarried. The woman, mom, said she knew about the affair and expressed her disappointment. I never met Maponga, but we occasionally spoke on the phone. I loved the man because my daughter was happy, said the mom. I also loved his preaching, but he's not what he appears to be. I hate him for what he did to my daughter. What did he do? According to them, I'm going to read it there. When she was pregnant, they tried to call him and all that. He didn't pay attention to them. I think he dropped the phone on the mother. But the mother, though, never met him, but she was speaking to him on the phone. And this is a family that believed in polygamy. They believed in polygamy. Let me read it. He had promised, according to her, he promised that he was going to marry her as his second wife. But you see, Maponga has never publicly declared that he believed in polygamy for himself. He could say it's okay for others to do, but he never said he believed in polygamy for himself. So he's trying to protect that image of that just monogamy. So let me read some of the stuff that she actually said. Sharing how the relationship started, the woman said she sent Maponga a message on social media in October asking for spiritual guidance for her calling, which is to be like a prophetess, but not as a Christian. She said he introduced her to one of his associates, a Sangoma. A Sangoma is like a traditional healer or something like that. However, he kept checking up on her regularly. I dreamt of him one night and thought it was a sign from the ancestors. He's the right person to help me. I began to feel uncomfortable. He invited me to Johannesburg and paid for my travel expenses, including the hotel. He said he wanted to marry me as his second wife. That's what she is saying, not what Solomon is saying. This is the same man who said Solomon falsely accused him that he had a girlfriend. Now this is what the girlfriend is saying. A 29-year-old girlfriend. According to her, she used to travel to Joburg at least twice a month and stay for a few days. She said Maponga gave her dried mushroom to have on an empty stomach while she fasted and to introduce him to her ancestors. So this has moved from a biblical position to traditional African belief. And it's fine if that's what he believes, but he must come out and tell us that's what he believes. And stop jumping from church and the other side and jump to church and then jump the other side. No, you can't play both sides. Choose one side. She said on her visits in December, he told her he suspected she was pregnant. The result came back positive, but one morning I had severe cramps and started to bleed. My mom took me to a clinic and I was told I had a miscarriage. I was heartbroken and more hurt that he showed no sympathy. I then realized things are not what they seem. I no longer had visions and dreams, said the woman. Daily Sun is in possession of their intimate WhatsApp conversations, which include conversations about rituals for their dead unborn son, which is a traditional thing for the Zulus. In one of the conversations, the woman updates him on the ceremony. She lists the items needed for the ceremony, adding that one of the goats was for them as parents. She suggests that as Maponga wouldn't be there for the ceremony, he can do it separately on his own. She wrote, I had to update you because the matter involves you. Furthermore, Maponga named the dead baby as per custom. So he even named the dead baby. This is a man who said, Solomon accused me wrongly. I do not have a girlfriend. I have one wife. I'm faithful to my wife. Solomon is accusing me. For that, I'm suing him for 5 million. The same man who said Solomon would have to sell his wife and his children to pay me that money. Same man. A bishop. Same man. The woman's mom said she knew about the affair and expressed her disappointment. I've never met Maponga, but we occasionally spoke on the phone. I love the man because my daughter was happy, said the mother. I also love his preaching, but he's not what he appears to be. I hate him for what he did to my daughter. He didn't even care when I called to inform him she was bleeding and had cramps. He was rude. She said she prays he never comes back into the life of her daughter. I believe my daughter dated him because he has her father's features and thought she would receive the same kind of love and care she received from her father while he was still alive, said the mother. But it's now clear Maponga was taking advantage because she's young. My daughter could have killed herself if I wasn't around because of the emotional and spiritual pain she went through. Although he said he knew the woman, Maponga denied allegations of infidelity, pregnancy, and using muti. He said the woman was trying to extort money from him and accused her of harassment. How do you even say she's trying to extort money from you? Like, with all these evidences, where is the proof that she was trying to extort money from you? You see the way sometimes as men we just create excuses out of nothing. So obviously he tried to give his own side of the story, but it's there. He said he was in business with her for, to make T-shirts and all that kind of stuff. But he's been with her right before they started making T-shirts, which was what he wanted her to help him do. He said she's very manipulative. I blocked her because of the harassment and obsession. When Daily Sun asked Maponga to respond to the screenshots of their intimate conversations and pregnancy, he asked to meet the Sun team on Thursday for a comprehensive reply. But on the day of the meeting, he asked the Sun team to meet him in the presence of his attorneys. Daily Sun opted to send his attorney an email of the inquiry, which receipt was acknowledged. The attorneys had not responded to the inquiry at the time of going to print. The woman denied allegations of harassment and extortion. She said he's been in recent weeks and days in communication with Maponga discussing the ceremony of the dead baby. On Sunday, further attempts to get a comment from Maponga's attorneys were made without a response. And all the evidences are there. Now this is the same man who has the guts to go and sue me. It's not my story. I was never in a relationship with him. But this is this young lady's story. Her family are now disappointed the way he treated them. Her mother, the way he was rude to the mother. It was more like a situation of, they feel like they, if you read it very well, they feel like they've been used and just dumped. That's what they're saying. That's why they're angry. That's why they're not happy. And for the mother to even come out. So now you're suing me for 5 million, Maponga. With all this. And this girl is ready to go to court with me. She's ready to put on an affidavit. Even if the mother needs to come, she will come. You're suing me for 5 million. But you do not have the guts to sue this girl if you know the story is not true. That you never had a relationship with her, but she's just accusing you. You never had the guts to sue her. Why don't you sue her? Why don't you sue the national newspaper? But it's Solomon, because Solomon is the first person to put the news out there. And we have to make sure that we submit our opposing affidavits between now and the 17th of May in the High Court of Johannesburg. And all these are evidences. There are more evidences, fresh evidences. There are a lot of people who have been defending him. He's only human. He's this and he's that. No. Anybody who is defending another pastor, prophet, saying, for infidelity, that they're only human, you basically telling me that you would do the same thing when you get an opportunity to commit adultery. That's what you will do. Which is very sad and very disappointing. Maponga said I falsely accused him. I've been interdicted. All I'm sharing with you here is the story of this young girl. It's sad. It's very sad. I feel for the family of this girl, herself and her mother. He was somebody they trusted. Somebody they felt he was legit based on what they're saying, but they got very disappointed. We must never as leaders cover our sin with anything we can lay our hands on. That's why I said in the beginning, this is a spiritual warfare that I'm fighting. And people are taking me to court now. Tomorrow evening, I'm going to tell you about CRC, Christian Revival Church, who are taking me to court and demanding 2 million rand. One of the reasons is because I called them, because I said they're a white church. And my interaction with them was because the government said you should only have 50 people in church, but you had over 1,000 people. Why? But they left all that. They left it. We're talking about a church trying to silence the truth. We're talking about bishops and prophets and apostles trying to silence the truth. I'm not the truth. The truth is Jesus. But you can never silence him. Even the cross couldn't silence him. But we must stop justifying the sins of our leaders. We must come clean. If I sin, I have to come clean. That's what growth in Christ is about. Not cover it and cover it and cover it. That's what the heathens do. That's what the Pharisees do. Justifying it. We cannot continue like that. So, it's one court case after another court case. And that's what the strategy that they have now. But by the grace of God, God is going to show them that this strategy is not going to work. And I thank every one of you who's been supportive, who's been supporting me financially and with my court cases. And if you want to do that, actually, please go to GoFundMe. For Solomon's Temple and what I do, there is a page that was started by a friend of mine in Canada. This is the page. You can make a donation. This is for the operations of Solomon Temples, how we help victims, and some of these legal issues that we have to deal with, and just the whole operation thing that we have to deal with. Or if you're in South Africa, you can do that via this account number, account details, that is. I'm not asking you to give to me. I'm asking you to give to the work of God. I'm not like the charlatans and the fake prophets and false prophets who would take and use it on themselves. No, I'm not like that. And you have the right to ask me to see the account, but only if you were given. Because there are some people that will come here and say things, but they never support it because they have their own intention. And if you want to use PayPal, please go ahead and use it. If you are international, want to use PayPal, easier way. SolomonTalks@yahoo.com is the PayPal email address. Whatever you give, little, 50 rand, 100 rand, $10, $20, $50, $100, $500, that would be appreciated, because this war is going to be long. It's a war. And you don't back down from a war. It's a war for truth and deception. You might not be Solomon and do a broadcast and investigate stuff. You don't need to. But you can support what I do. You can support what we do. If you see any other person doing the same thing that I do and you believe in it, support them. Not just me, myself. No, support them. If they're in Kenya or Nigeria, they're asking for support, support them. But it's about silencing you and I to not continue to say and discuss and disclose the truth. Like I said, tomorrow I will be here to talk about Christian Revival Church, who is suing me for 2 million. And you see, the fact is, they're suing me for 2 million. And I said, look, my attorney said, my legal team said, let's talk about this thing and sort this thing out. He said, no. But just a few days ago, I got another scandalous report about the same church. 2 scandalous reports. One of them is sex scandal with one of the top pastors there. I have to investigate it. Is it true or not? But it's there. They've given me evidences from one side. And these are white people we're talking about. Afrikaners. It's a war, people. You and I need to stay together. And the grace of God is there for each and every one of us for situations like this. Maponga is suing me, like I said again, for 5 million. How is he going to get that 5 million now? And that's the question that I have. And actually, before I close, I almost forgot. I want to show you something. Let me show you something. The same person who accused me, who said I accused him of having a girlfriend, I want to show you what the same person accused me of. So he didn't really measure and evaluate his position carefully. So, finally, Maponga has gone to the court, get an interdict, and he has sued me for 5 million for saying that I falsely claim that he is an adulterer. He has a girlfriend, he's a womanizer. But he tend to forget that he also accused me in the same conversation that we had on Facebook. And unlike my own accusation that he said I accused him of, there is a witness and there are proofs, as you can see. But his own accusations, he can never prove it. Never ever prove it. And that would put him in a dilemma. What are his accusations against me? These are his accusations against me. This is what he said. Solomon Izang Shams, your cultural wife in Nigeria. Did you tell your wife? Also about your girlfriend in Sweden. Now, Maponga, how are you going to prove this? First, you claim I have a cultural wife in Nigeria. So, according to Nigerian culture, I don't even know what you're talking about, a cultural wife. That I'm married, I have another wife in Nigeria, based on culture. And then, I have a girlfriend in Sweden. So you would have to travel to Jos in Nigeria to really go and dig deep and find this wife that you are saying I have. And you would have to fly to Sweden and look for that girlfriend from Gothenburg to Malmö to Stockholm. You would look for that girlfriend. And I wish you good luck. I wish you good luck. So he has totally forgotten that in the heat of being angry, he accused me of that. That's what he accused me of. So, you can countersue him. You cannot claim, well, I just say that just to, because he's saying this. No. It doesn't work that way. A bishop. Some of you are still following him. There are great stuff that he shares. I'm not going to disqualify everything that Maponga says. No. But you must be careful. You must be careful. It's almost an hour now. I'm not even sure I'm going to be able to read some of your comments. Dr. Natasha Opoku is saying, Solomon, are you cheating too? If I was cheating, I would confess to all of you. You know, I don't believe in like just private confession. That's not my band of Christian. No. I believe in confessing publicly, just so you know my struggles. That's just the way that it is. Just so you know my struggles. I'm not ashamed. That's what it is. We shouldn't be ashamed when we have Christ with us. She's saying those conversations are not proof or evidence. They are merely allegations that are yet to be tested. They're going to be tested. He knows it. So I'm not telling you for you they are allegations. But for her, it's not allegations. What I read for you here is her own stuff. They're not allegations. He knows they're not allegations, by the way. Melba said, he's a coward. We saw a screenshot of him trying to talk you out of this argument on WhatsApp. You see? So there are certain things that you actually saw that I didn't even see. Someone here is saying, don't forget Johnson Suleiman's payoff. Yes, on Friday evening, I'm going to play you the audio clip of how Johnson Suleiman paid his pastor to keep quiet about the whole thing about his wife, Suleiman taking his wife over. On Friday, I'm going to do that. She's saying, are you going to tell us the CRC scandals? Maybe I would. But one thing I can tell you is one of them is a sex scandal. And the allegations are very strong. The allegations of sex scandal. So, but I have to give them CRC the opportunity also to respond, because that's what I normally do. This is what they're saying about you. What do you say? Because I have proofs from the one side. From the woman involved, I have proofs. It's still, oh no, not gonna pay attention to that. Well, let me answer this, Masiowa. There are a lot that you don't know. And there are a lot that I'm not going to share with you here, with everyone here. But Maponga knows about it. So you are making your case based on the little that I've shared from here. There's a lot. There's a lot that you don't know. So let me leave you there. Shaka is saying, Brother Solomon, you have a lot of drama. I wish I do not have drama. I seriously wish I do not have drama. You know, I wish it was different. I wish it was different. So I've told you I'm going to share some stuff about, that there are some new allegations, and tomorrow I'm going to share about CRC. And then there are some new allegations that just came up. I'm going to investigate it and see, is it true? Is it not true? And then we take it off from there. Maponga said I accuse him falsely. Did I accuse him falsely or not? With the new evidence from this girl, did I accuse him falsely or not? With a lot of evidences and stuff that she had actually not shared yet, with what her mother had said, did I accuse him falsely or not? That's up to him. All I'm trying to say is he has to look at these things. I'm not, I love to deal with some of this thing privately, but it has to be the people taking responsibility for everything. If you know you did what was said, you take responsibility. Not try to fight back using the legal system. It's as easy as that. And everybody will deal with everything privately and move on. We don't need to bring everything out here. No, we don't have to at all. So it is what it is, So I want to thank you guys so much for hanging with me. I think I have to leave you here. It's been an hour already. There's a lot that you don't know. Let me just say that there's a lot that you don't know. There's a lot that I cannot share with you here, that I will not share with you here. So don't try to be conclusive. Just follow through. Don't try to be conclusive. Yeah, but know that there's a lot that is not out here. But thank you so much, guys. May the Lord bless you, keep you. May He cause His face to shine upon you. And may you continue to be faithful to one woman, faithful to one man. God bless you. Have a good day.